Welcome to the Texas Goat Radio Show. I'm your host, Matorius. We are in part 6 of 1724 live stream of Owen Benjamin. Came out on Friday, and today is Saturday. He is justifying his Bertarius scam and the abuse of his victims and cult members and the manipulation of so many people during a worldwide crisis. In this live stream, this entire live stream, in my opinion, is designed to justify. He is reaffirming the justification of his crimes and sins and all of the allegations against him because of consent, the rule of consent. He thinks the retribution or whatever, the punishment that he would normally undergo actually goes to the victims because they consented to it. And so this type of man would be the type that would beat his wife, and she would then, because of who he is, she would then apologize to him for causing him to have to do what he did because she is in a consensual relationship. And that's the type of person Owen Benjamin is. And I am saying no. I am disagreeing with it. I am with everything that is holy, saying no to this proposition. Nope.
All right, let's just watch this guy from the beginning. The thing I love about Sean Strickland is you can tell he's speaking from the heart, and that's what I judge people on. Now, I don't think it's possible for a leader to inflict morality on you because force begets force. Now, if we want that, if we want to live in a world with these laws, if the majority of us, if we just keep pushing towards a world where we can't even conceive of a woman dressing as a man and not having children, being in debt in war, like that's fucking crazy. The more we get there, the more the managerial leadership positions will just operate under what we want. And that's the best move. All right, let's watch this from the beginning. This guy was fucking right from the heart.
Yeah, he really solid fucking guy. You know, like Brazilians, man.
He says all of these things, the spellcraft, the alchemy, all of this witchcraft. And he says all of these things. And without giving you a chance to say no to it, he says something else that is pretty much a universal fact. And so then you agree with what he said after that, but you said yes without saying no, so you agree to all of it. It's like reading the terms of service. Once you click agree, whether or not you read all of it or not, you agree with every single thing that it says.
I like this old school,
Like dirty Brazilians.
like America, you guys. We're all a bunch of degenerate fucks. You know,
That's how I know the guy's authentic, because he takes a pause where he's like, am I really going to fucking say this right now? Yes, I am.
All right. And so this is ironic because he'll yell at Christians whenever he's doing that whole thing. Whenever he's yelling about Christians, he's like, "Oh, so we're all filth. We're all this," and condemns Christians for that because in Christianity, it's a common belief that everyone falls short. There ain't nobody that's good. Jesus said that. He said, "Why do you call me good? Nobody's good." And Owen will yell and get bent out of shape about that and condemn that. But then whenever this guy says it, oh yeah, he's right. He's a man who stands for nothing will fall for anything. And Owen absolutely has zero spinal cord. He has no spine. He is a coward. He is a pathetic, dangerous cult leader. And it's as simple as that.
Listen to this pause. I know this pause so well. Codsworth, are we off Twitter? Are we off Twitter, Codsworth? I just need...
So he's still doing the whole Twitter thing. I was wondering. So he made it just over an hour. Usually whenever he gets off of Twitter, he starts saying things that is not a... That's crazy that the things that he said so far was him holding back. Do I want to gamble with it? Sure.
I know I went pretty hard at the Jews. He probably pulled the fucking lever early. But that pause with that sigh was authentic. He's never been to Brazil. He's like, that's the pause that I do every time I'm about to say nigger. I'm like,
yeah. And no, he's a liar. That word rolls off of his tongue The same way give me money rolls off of his tongue. Vile degenerate. Vulgarity. There's a couple of things that I have opinions on him, but I'm still thinking about it and praying about it. I mean, but it's true. It is. You can tell who people are by their fruits, by the words. From the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. And so it's after watching him for so long, it's easy to say certain things. And the nail in the coffin for me that made me absolutely know that he is a dangerous, pathetic coward was him telling that story 4 times in one day of how he verbally assaulted and tried to humiliate a elderly person, and him admitting that he was high off of that. And then whenever he spent 20 minutes describing predatory homosexual abuse, that pretty much summed it up. And those were older clips, but
Okay, here we go. Watch this.
Yeah, he really solid fucking guy. You know, like Brazilians, man, they have like this old school, like
That. You see, he's like, am I going to fucking say it? Am I going to say this? Yeah. This is a pre-
I like this guy because he says like a lot. The similarities.
interview. He's like, he has a little voice on his shoulder. Same with me. My voice is very soft. It's like, maybe you shouldn't say this. And he's just like, time to go.
America, you guys, we're all a bunch of degenerate fucks. You know, like, I was talking to one guy, like, I was joking about, growing up with my dad.
Watch a clip of him talking about Christianity and I just did a video on it's the demoralized. Watch that video. This guy is almost word for word saying what Owen was saying about Christians, but negatively.
I fucking snorted oxys off the
Okay, this is before the fight. I guarantee you won the fight, right? I mean, if I was the other guy, that would be more intimidating than anything. A guy that just says the truth. I'm like, oh my God, he's going to be a ferocious warrior.
Just because it's vulgar doesn't mean it's the truth. I mean, is there partial truth to what he's saying? Yeah, absolutely. But
because he definitely won this fight. I mean, someone speaking this clearly, there's no way he didn't win this fight.
Well, my mom trying to bang somebody, and
he's moving like he's banging when he said that, which is fucking a little weird. But anyway, I mean, I'm not saying the guy is a super good guy, but he's honest. And I love authenticity. I fucking love it.
Partner comes up to me, you guys, like,
he pretends to love authenticity. He does. He does not love authenticity. You know how you know that Owen does not? He actually detests authenticity. The way that you know that he detests authenticity is whenever somebody authentically asks him a question or authentically pushes back a little bit. No, banned for life. How dare you be authentic? You have to participate in this charade of my fake authenticity. That's the only thing that you get to do. He doesn't like authenticity. Not even a little bit. This is more of his spellcraft, witchcraft, demonology, whatever you want to call it.
Sean, why would you disrespect yourself like that? I'm like, dude, do you know Americans? We are so royally fucked. Like, we have so much fucking degeneracy in our, like, who we are. I can't even pretend not to be a white trash motherfucker. I look in the mirror and I wear a suit, and I just think all the bad shit I've done, all the bad shit I've seen. I'm like, what are you fucking doing here?
See, the cool thing about this guy is he knows there is such a thing as good and bad. That is why I'm highlighting the guy.
Hey, guys, the reason why I like this dude. No, all right. I'm not saying anything bad about the dude that's talking. The fact that Owen likes him, that's something.
I think he's fucking great because
Owen has pretended to like more than a few people that I wouldn't say are bad people at all, and so that's not necessarily just condemning in itself. That's for sure. I don't want that to seem like that's what I'm saying. Not at all.
There's a lot of people that don't believe in good or bad, so they don't ever think that. They believe that good is more power and bad is less power. And then there's people that have a moral compass. Like this guy is like snorting oxys and trying to fuck when you have a kid is bad. All the shit I've done is bad. Probably done a bunch of drugs, fucked a bunch of chicks, beat the shit out of a guy who probably didn't really deserve it, stolen some shit, stolen some copper. But he knows it's bad, and he's like, who the fuck are you to wear a suit like you're one of these people? And And I love that. I just love anybody that knows that good and bad exist.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't love that. He doesn't. What he's doing is he's trying to paint the picture that he knows what good and evil is by talking about somebody else's thought process on good and evil. Owen does not at all.
And it's not just about acquiring power. And it's not just about force. It's about good or bad.
So forwarding to these fucking dirty Brazilians, it was nice, man.
I love that you call them dirty because Brazilians are pretty dirty. No offense, Codsworth. But there's a dirty aspect to Brazilian culture, but there's an authenticity to them that's pretty sweet.
Good community. They fucking barbecue. They hang out. You know, it was like it was some good wholesome shit, man. Americans, we need to go back to like taking women out of the workforce, and maybe that is where we fucked up, you guys. We let women.
See, he's already played this, and so this live stream was an hour and 57 minutes, so just shy of 2 hours. If you cut out and this is part of his technique, repeating something over and over and over. That way it normalizes it. That's what a groomer does. That's techniques of a groomer. It's that slow burn. Get them used to this, then move a little bit closer. Get them used to this, then move a little closer. That's what he's doing. And that's why he repeats himself so much. I bet this live stream probably would be less than 30 minutes if he only said something one time.
Oh, no offense. But
I do that all the time. That whole say something super offensive and say no offense. This guy's a fucking genius. He's like, it is true. Women shouldn't vote. Fact. Because if you...
He only is talking about him because he reminds him of himself. And so if he finds somebody that reminds him of himself, he can play a clip of them and then tell the audience of why the person that he's playing is brilliant. That way he comes across brilliant.
Vote, you should be drafted. Well, I don't believe in the draft either, obviously. But if you vote, I do believe in government service if you vote. And originally it was called being on the what's it called? The bucket crew or something where you have to put out fires and shit. Yeah. I'm all about that. I'm pro National Guard. I'm not against war. I'm just against this Israeli horseshit fiat currency wars, the opium wars and all this stuff.
He's not against war. He's not against slavery. He's not against castles. He's not against cults. He's not against dictatorships. He's not against abuse. He's not against predatory behavior. Why is he not against any of those things? It's because he wants all of those things. He endorses all those things. He is all of those things. That's what he wants. It's as simple as that.
But I'm not against guys having to do service to like put out fires, fight off Indians or whatever. And women should not be in that situation. And if you don't agree to service for your nation, you should not have a right to vote. I don't think people who don't own land should have a right to vote. And I don't mean mortgages.
He means, that's another layer of disgustingness. He doesn't own his land. I don't care if he legally does or not. He doesn't. And to me, he does not own anything. He doesn't. It belongs to his cult. It belongs to his victims. He owns nothing. This dude, everything that he stands on, everything that he's built is absolutely meaningless because he got it. It's ill-gotten gains. It's blood money.
I get it. This would exclude most of the world. I get it. But I don't think you should have a right to participate in government unless you own land without debt and you're a man. Oh, how dare you? Well, listen.
So by those two criteria, I'm not going to say he's not a man, but he's not he's a very weak, cowardly, dangerous man. Weak, cowardly, dangerous. Why is he dangerous? Because he has a little bit of power. And people without a moral compass who feel like they can literally get away with anything, from what this live stream tells us, is a very, very dangerous man. Doesn't hold himself accountable for anything, and if he does wrong, it's your fault. Not his fault, but it's your fault.
You will have two wolves and a chicken voting for dinner unless you have the people with skin in the game, and you want to protect your women. This isn't about subjugating women. Look at what's happened to these fucking women. Now there's guys with boners in locker rooms, and they're expected to be like corporate people and moms, and they're depressed on pills. It's a fucking nightmare, dude. And not black. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with that now. It's like America's so fucked up and mixed up racially and ethnically. I don't know how you go back at this point. I think it should be more regional. Or, I don't know. I don't have an answer to that because I believe in nations, and a nation is a bloodline and an ethnicity. A nation is a fractal extension of the family. That being said, who the fuck am I to tell some black who's been here since the 1600s, and half of my family is from Ireland in the 19th century. Am I more American? Right? Black, white isn't, it doesn't.
Wow. The one, that's one of the things that he does. That is a truthful statement. And so he'll make a truthful statement, and it's almost everyone agrees with that, right? That was very true. I agree with that. And I think a lot of people will agree with that. And that's one of his, that's how he ropes you into this whole terms of service thing that he's trying to peddle. And I'm saying no to it. I want everybody that's listening, like, verbally say, no, we don't agree with that. Because words matter. And so he's spelling all of this out. It's his spellcraft, witchcraft, alchemy, all of wizardry, whatever you want to call it. He has all of these statements that he's lining up, and doesn't give you a chance to say no unless, right, what we're doing right now. But then he'll say something like that the majority of people would agree with, and they'd be like, yeah. And so you just agreed with everything because you didn't dissect it. And that's how he justifies what he does.
Work properly. Our history's pretty messy. Now, I like the Vox Day talk about posterity Americans, how it was British. The United States of America is the descendants of the people who fought the Revolutionary War. That's clean. It's logical. It makes sense. But, when you have centuries of bringing labor in and you promise them citizenship, how do you go back on that? Think about all the treaties that were broken. Think about all the promises broken. It's not clean.
All right. This is interesting that he's talking about that, because the whole Bertaria scam was built on promises, broken promises. How do you go back on that?
It's really not clean. It's not like you can just say, we've been surviving on your labor, but now you can't be a citizen. That's why it's like, I don't have the answer to that. I do know that there is a biological component to nation. Japanese people look a certain way. Nigerian people look a certain way. That's true. But when you're looking at the corporate reality of the United States of America and the 50 states, what are you going to say that, do the Hawaiians have to leave? Do you kill them? Do you subjugate them? Like, you know what I mean? It's not clean. And it's not because I want special boy privileges where it's like, oh, well, Owen's part Irish and part German and Jew. So he's like, and his kids are part Spic. So he can't.
He definitely wants special boy privileges. He wants, and this is clearly illustrated in this live stream. He clearly wants special boy privileges. Why? One, he thinks you should be a male to vote, and he is some form of a man. Two, you should own land without debt. Did he earn that land? Absolutely not. No, it's ill-gotten gains. It's blood money. It's dirty land. It is doomed. And him saying, I should be able to vote because of that, he wants special boy privileges.
No, I think clearly. I really do. It has nothing to do with me. I just think about what would be a fair way of handling that, where it's like, who is the nation of America? What I'm starting to think is America is an empire, and it has been since 1871. Forget about now. The states are an empire. After the Civil War, we became an empire. And I have people that came here in 1710. Like, I do have bloodline rights to the original nation, but it's small. It's maybe 7-8% of my bloodline. But it's still, it's like, once the United States became an empire, it's like the Russian Federation. You got to include a lot of people in that. And so the nation still exists, which is Anglo. It's the nation of America, logically, is the posterity of the colonists that won the Revolutionary War. But you have all these people that have been here for centuries. Like, what do you do with them? Like, do you kill them all? Like, that's so stupid. Most of these people couldn't even kill a chicken. And a lot of them are, I don't even know who would posterity.
And I could kill a chicken, but I'm not going to kill a goat that probably, I wouldn't. That was such a bizarre way of starting it off, like flip flopping back and forth. I'm such a good guy. I'm not gonna kill the goat, but I call the goat this because I don't want to name it because then it's easier to kill. And also I'm a cult leader and I don't call my cult members by names. And so this is really getting kind of awkward because now I feel like I'm gonna kill people because they have their names and not real names. It's bizarre, absolutely bizarre. And look at my finger, guys. I'm a perpetual victim. Bizarre.
And B, it's like, Will you take blood tests run by Jews at Google? Like, there really is no answer that way. I'm a pretty, that's one thing I like about Islam. I know, but it's such a deep state shield for Islam. There's no shilling for Islam. I just like how they guarantee national ethnic rights. Like, you have a right of free assembly, but you don't have a right to say you're superior to another race. Islamically, there is a built-in right of a race. You have a right to be a tribe. Like, you have a right to have a nation defined by an ethnicity.
See, he'll say something like that, a nugget of truth. No race is superior than another race. Do you have the right to say that? See, that's not true. You have freedom of speech absolutist, man. Say whatever you want. I don't. I encourage it, right? Say whatever you want. That way I know who you are. Because I believe from the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. So the more that you talk, the more that I know you. And so he'll say something true, and it's wrapped around his whatever. That's how he sucks people in. Because a lot of people, I've seen a lot of comments where people are like, "There's a couple of things that I agree with Owen Benjamin," but then, I agreed with him on a couple of things, and then he's fishing, and he puts the little bait on the hook. A little nugget of truth, universal truth that most people like, most people appreciate, most people find true. And then you're like, he pulls you. And then you see who he is, and you're like, And then...
The thing that they say you can't do is say because of that bloodline, you can kill off another group. The current Judeo-Christian America doesn't give you the right of ethnic free association. Like, I like ethnic free association. I like people that only do business with each other. I think it's good. I think racism, quote unquote racism.
No, he's a liar. He doesn't think that. He said that the other day. Oh, because I'm not a Christian anymore, because I blasphemed the Lord, you're not going to support me? Yeah, no, he has zero appreciation for that. The only time that he appreciates that is whenever it's him getting the money. It's whenever it benefits him. And he'll go out on a limb and not really immediately benefit from it, but it's him planting the seed of, I know it's the same grift. I know that this will work. I just got to be patient.
It's good. It preserves the nations. And I think nations are good. Like, look at the Cherokee and the Mohawk and the Algonquin and the Iroquois and all of the Sioux and all these people. They don't get to have, it was watered down, destroyed, homogenized, Starbucksified. Is that good? Like,
the one of the dangerous aspects about Owen is that I am almost 100% sure that he honestly has no idea what he believes, except for his faith in money. And like a couple of things that he knows for sure. One, he loves money. Two, he'll do almost anything for money. Three, he is...
that feel good to you that there aren't these groups anymore, that they've been essentially, dilution is the solution to pollution, all that shit? You have the right to kill and eat your own chicken? Yeah, I know. I kill my chickens, eat my chickens. I'm just talking about, like, when people talk about who has the right to vote, women should absolutely not vote. Speaking the truth before a fight being...
Women should absolutely not vote. Okay.
Intimidating is funny. Dude, it's so intimidating. All right, let's just listen to him crush.
No, I want to tell you guys something.
What's interesting about that is that's a debatable thing, right? I can see a healthy debate in that. What's ironic about him saying that is that I personally know women that have way more intellectual, moral, ethical, way more of everything that you would want in somebody that votes than the guy that just said that. And that right there is the debate as to why women should vote. I'm not gonna lie, growing up, I thought that was always funny. Haha, yeah, because you can see how things have changed since that was able to happen. But that's the argument right there that I'm going with. The fact that he says that, and that I know women that are way smarter, way better, smarter, better, more ethical, morally sound, everything that you would want in a friend, in a voter, right there, in a woman, stronger, everything better than him. And so that's
About America prior to women voting. The try to ban alcohol. I don't even drink, but I'm not trying to ban alcohol. So what you did, man, you let these women come in the workforce. Now we make less money. You got kids raising themselves on fucking TikTok. We need to go back to like 19.
It's funny that he laughed at that because I've heard Owen say that he would ban alcohol, even though he drinks.
1942, especially after, maybe 1958 after he fucked up the Germans. We need to put women back in the kitchen. We need to take fucking only one man.
Like, I don't think he's Jew shilling with the German comment either. I think he's just like.
All right, so it's about 25 minutes in. I'm going to call it on this video. Thanks for watching. This is the Texas Goat Radio Show, and I'm your host, Pretorius. As always, till next time.